do we have a voice that's truly heard at the table because it's a voice of rationality, or is it simply because we have the big military, so they have to entertain whatever the president says, whether it is rooted in thought or not? And so I really don't know. I feel like we're in a place where we don't know what's going on.
The U.S. Friday continued airstrikes in Iran while Tehran launched retaliatory attacks on U.S. targets in the Gulf as the region braced itself after President Trump said he was close to deciding whether to launch a massive attack. Trump told the Axios news outlet, "I am considering a massive attack, bigger than ever before. I am close to making a decision." The U.S. military later said it conducted its 13th consecutive night of strikes against Iran in attacks aimed at degrading Iran's ability to threaten maritime traffic. The standoff continues over the Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway between Iran and Oman, with Iran asserting its control and the U.S. imposing a blockade on Iranian ports. The conflict on Thursday pushed global benchmark oil prices to over $100 per barrel, their highest level since May. The price eased below $98 a barrel in Friday morning trading. The national average price for regular gasoline in the U.S. also continued to climb to $4.10 per gallon, up by more than 17 cents from a month ago, according to AAA. What are your thoughts on the Iran war? Do you believe the president is making the right moves?
I have a lot of different thoughts on this. The main one being, I hope to, I say this often, I hope I live long enough to see the definitive books written about this period in time, and that we finally know exactly what is going on behind the scenes. I want to believe a lot of the bluster we hear from the president is bluster for the sake of bluster, that keeping people unsure, jumping back and forth, saying we're doing this, we have an agreement here, we have a ceasefire there, we have a what's the word I'm looking for? Memorandum of understanding, and then we don't hold to it, or they don't hold to it, or they don't agree that they ever signed it. All this stuff, what is actually going on? What happens in the negotiating rooms? As we were talking about when we were talking about the tariffs a little bit ago, do we have a voice that's truly heard at the table because it's a voice of rationality, or is it simply because we have the big military, so they have to entertain whatever the president says, whether it is rooted in thought or not? And so I really don't know. I feel like we're in a place where we don't know what's going on.
Right. And a lot of it, I know with Caroline Levitt, a lot of what she does is say that everything that's on Truth Social is the truth. That is exactly what he's doing. He's being transparent. But these things come out at 3 o'clock in the morning. Right. What is he doing at 3 o'clock in the morning where you all of a sudden have this about face of something he just said 2 days ago? So I don't know how many people are just sycophants who they won't say anything to him because they don't want his wrath. So they do things that he doesn't even know that they're doing. I'm so confused and a little worried about this administration.
I felt like in the first Trump administration that behind the scenes there were enough
rational minds.
I wouldn't even, you could say rational, but I mean career politicians or career statesmen
who know
were
how
still
to
working
negotiate.
a lot of this stuff, and the president would say something, but they had certain agendas and they were working on a certain set of ideals that at the end may accomplish the same thing, but they had a plan in place. I feel this time around a lot of those folks aren't at the table. And so I wonder who is making policy, who is advising the president on policy. We hear this all the time. What is the end goal of all of this? How do you achieve it? We went in there because we didn't want them to have a nuclear warhead. We were already it seemed in the right direction of them not having
We
one.
already had an agreement in
We
place.
had an agreement that I know the Trump administration says was not being honored, but it had been torn up, basically. And then the straits, it was open for trade for all these years through so many conflicts. And now we're having trouble there. What's that going to change globally, even after this conflict? What does it mean? You get things where they say, they don't want to negotiate. We're not negotiating with them. And then you hear the Iranians say, no, they proposed a ceasefire and we turned it down. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I just don't like the idea that we are losing lives, that people are being harmed over there. Not just our lives. I don't like the idea that war is going on over this. I don't know what was Iran a honored, good regime in the way they treated their people? No. But what is the alternatives there? How are we going to get there, and how are we going to achieve those goals with the current policy that's in play, or the current policy that keeps shifting? I'm just lost in all this.
I think his whole how he negotiates and how he does in his business, he thinks that he can do the same with countries. The countries are like companies.
Right.
And it's very different, and he won't listen to the people who know about that and who have been in the trenches and know how the language should go. So
I saw
one of his spokespersons on one of those cable news shows, and they were going on, and the host stopped and said, "Please, this is not 4 and 5D chess. This is total random behavior." Yeah.
And it's like it's easy to couch it in other terms to make it more palatable. But I think the problem also comes. We don't know what's at play. Now, we shouldn't always know, I think, all of the military plans and that there is stuff to be kept. But I don't think that this stuff is being put out there by the president in an attempt to deflect from what's really going on. I think it's knee-jerk stuff. It's hurt feelings. It makes him look bad, so he's going to say this to make him look better. And you don't realize they're shifting entire military plans around these edicts that he truths out.
Yes.
It's very,
These
very
3
concerning.
a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about all this? That was definitely our opinion on it. 713-440-8870. Where am I missing the point? Where maybe I'm overlooking the clever military structuring and dialogue that we don't understand that's going to end up making us safer on this globe of ours that we call home. Really quickly, let's also grab Amy from Belleville. Amy, what's on your mind?
Oh, I just wanted to chime in about all your theories, and I thought they were really kind spins on things. But I believe that there's no grand design, that President Trump behaves like an autocrat, that he blows past, all the guardrails and constitutional norms, and he is surrounded by sycophants. And I would much rather talk about the Odyssey in all honesty. But I thought I'd chime in, and I thought you all did a very nice job of covering different angles of what's happening right now.
Amy, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Call back another time. We'll talk Odyssey, okay?